Hi friends, welcome back to CivTech Simplified. This is Engineer Imran Aziz. We are presenting part 6 of our ongoing video series on structural analysis. In this part, we will be presenting 25 multiple choice questions which would definitely help you for preparing your next exam. And these questions have been designed to help civil engineers who are getting prep for the competitive exams, any sort of job interviews, and university tests. And remember, the correct answers have been highlighted so that you could review them effectively. So let's get started with today's video. Question number 126. A circular section of beam having diameter D is replaced by square section of side D. The bending stress will be. There is a beam which has a circular section, and now that section has been replaced by a square section of side D. Earlier the diameter was also D. The bending stress will be option A, not change, option B, increase, option C, reduce, option D, depend on the size D. So once we change this section of the beam from circular to square, the bending stress will be reduced. Option C is the correct answer for this question. 127. Direct and bending stress occurs due to option A, axial loading, option B, concentric loading, option C, eccentric loading, option D, any of the above. Direct and bending stress occurs due to eccentric loading. C is the correct answer for this question. Question number 128. The stability of dam is checked for. Stability of dam is checked for option A, tension at base and overturning and sliding. Option B, compression at base, overturning and sliding. Option C, overturning and sliding only. And option D, none of the above. The stability of the dam is checked for option A, tension at base and overturning as well as sliding. So option A is the correct answer for this question. 129. The rectangular section with side 3 meter and 6 meter has a core. Option A, parallelogram of side 2 meter and 4 meter, square diagonal of side 1 meter 3 meter, circular of radius 3 meter, rhombus diagonal of sides 1 meter and 2 meter. The rectangular section with side 3 meter and 6 meter has a core of rhombus diagonal of sides 1 meter and 2 meter. So D is the correct answer for this question. The material which have the same elastic properties in all directions are called option A, isotropic, option B, brittle, option C, homogeneous, option D, hard. The material which have the same elastic properties in all directions are called isotropic materials. A is the correct answer for this question. 131. The slenderness ratio of a vertical column of a cross section of 2.5 centimeter sides and 300 centimeter long is the slenderness ratio of the vertical column of a square cross section of 2.5 centimeter sides and 300 centimeter long is. What is the slender ratio? Option A is 200, option B is 240, option C is 360, and option D is 416. So D is the correct answer for this question. 132. The region of cross section of a column in which compressive load may be applied without producing any tensile stress is known as the core of the cross section. In circular columns, the radius of the core is option A, 1/2 of the radius, option B, 1/3 of the radius, option C, 1/4 of the radius, and option D, 1/5 of the radius. So what is the core? The core is the region of cross section of a column in which compressive load may be applied without producing any tensile stress. And in case of circular column, the radius of the core is 1/4 of the radius. C is the correct answer for this question. 133. The radius of gyration of a square section is not proportional to. The radius of gyration of square section is not proportional to option A, square root of the moment of inertia, square root of the inverse of the area, option C, square root of the moment of inertia divided by area of the section, and option D, side of the square. The radius of gyration of a square section is not proportional to side of square. D is the correct answer for this question. 134. Struts are load carrying members of a frame structure which are subjected to. Struts are load carrying members of a frame structure which are subjected to option A, axial tension loads, option B, axial compressive loads, option C, torsional loads, option D, transverse load. So the struts are the axial compressive loads. B is the correct answer for this question. 135. Rankine-Golden formula accounts for direct as well as buckling stress and is applicable to. Rankine-Golden formula accounts for direct as well as buckling stress and is applicable to option A, very long columns, option B, long columns, option C, short columns, option B, intermediate columns. The Rankine-Gold formula accounts for intermediate columns. D is the correct answer for this question. 136. The ratio of effective length of a column and minimum radius of gyration of its cross-sectional area is known as. The ratio of effective length of a column and minimum radius of gyration of its cross-sectional area is known as option A, buckling factor, option B, slenderness ratio, option C, crippling factor, option D, none of the above. So this ratio is called slenderness ratio. B is the correct answer for this question. 137. A long vertical member subjected to an axial compressive load is called. A long vertical member subjected to an axial compressive load is called option A, a column, option B, a strut, option C, a tie, option D, a stanchion. A long vertical member subjected to an axial compressive load is called a column. A is the correct answer for this question. 138. Columns of a given length, cross-section, and material have different values of buckling loads for different end conditions. The strongest column is one whose option A, one end is fixed and other end is hinged. Option B, both ends are hinged or pin jointed. Option C, one end is fixed and other end entirely free. Option D, both the ends are fixed. So D is the correct answer. Both ends are free, are fixed. 139. The slenderness ratio of a vertical column of square cross section of 10 cm side and 500 cm long is option A, 117.2, 17.3, option C, 173.2, option D, 137.2. The slenderness ratio of a vertical column of square section of 10 cm side and 500 cm long is option C, 173.2. 140. The equivalent length of a column fixed at one end and free at the other end is option A 0.5 L, option B 0.7 L, option C L, option D 2L. The equivalent length of a column fixed at one end and free at the other end is 2L. D is the correct answer. 141. The equivalent length of a column fixed at both ends is option A 0.5 L, option B 0.7 L, option C L, option D 2L. The equivalent length of a column fixed at both ends is 0.5 L. A is the correct answer for this question. 142. A column is said to be a medium size if its slenderness ratio is between option A 20 to 32, option B 30 to 120, option C 120 to 160, option C 160 to 180. So a column is said to be a medium column if its slenderness ratio is 32 to 120. B is the correct answer. 43. The equivalent length of a column of length L having both ends hinged is option A 2L, option B L, option C 0.5L, and option D 0.7L. So this answer is B L. The equivalent length of a column of length L having the both ends fixed or hinged is called L. 44. The equivalent length is of a column of length L having both ends fixed is called L by 2. C is the correct answer. 145. The ratio of crippling load of a column having both the ends fixed to column having both the ends hinged is called. What is the ratio of crippling length between two columns? One is having both ends fixed and the other is having both ends hinged. So this ratio is option A 1, option B 2, option C 3, option D 4. So 4 is the correct answer for this question. 146. Pick up the correct statement from the following. Option A, structural member subjected to compression and whose dimensions are small as compared to its length is called a statement. Option B, vertical compression member are generally known as columns or stanchions. Option C, deflection is lateral direction of all long column is generally known as buckling. The deflection in lateral direction of a long column is known as buckling. And option D, all of the above. So all these options are correct. Therefore, D is the answer for this question, which is all of the above. 147. Slenderness ratio of a long column is option A, area of cross section divided by radius of gyration. Option B, area of cross section divided by latest radius of gyration. Option C, radius of gyration divided by area of cross section. And option D, length of column divided by least radius of the gyration. So slenderness ratio of a long column is D, length of column divided by least radius of gyration. 148. The equivalent length of a column of length L having one end fixed and other end hinged is called A 2L, B L, C L by 2, and D 0.707 L. So D is the correct answer for this question. 49. The equivalent length of a column of length L having one end fixed and other end free is option A 2L, option B L, option C 2 L by 2, option D 0.707 L. So the equivalent length of a column of length L having one end fixed and other end free is 2L. A is the correct answer. Question 150 and the last question for this video part. As per Euler's theory, failure is in column will be, as per Euler theory, the failure in column will be by option A buckling, option B crushing, option C crippling, option D crippling and buckling. So A is the correct answers. As per Euler theory, the columns fails in buckling. So thank you for watching this part. We have completed the structural analysis part 6, and hopefully this question would help civil engineers too who are preparing themselves for the exam, competitive exam. Please subscribe to CivTech Simplified and follow us on Facebook as well as Instagram and TikTok. Thank you.